Classic, I don't know what you're doing today. You're kind of wasting your Saturday. Like, if I'm being quite honest, we have so much in store for today, and this event is only going to be getting larger per year. So it's awesome to see the competition as well as the passion that comes into events like this. You know, people are doing crew battles because they like playing Smash Brothers. There's also the school pride on the line. So it's great to see people who care so much and are out here to defend and to invade.
Yeah, and like you mentioned before, if you guys aren't at Scarlet Classic, what are you doing? So this event is happening throughout the entire day from 12 p.m. in the afternoon to 11 o'clock at night. So if you guys are near New Brunswick, if you guys are near Rutgers University, make sure to pop out, show some love to all the artist alleys and Rutgers Esports. Shout out to them for being able to house this event. Like, if it weren't for them, we wouldn't have had the NPR. And shout out to Collegiate for being able to provide an amazing stream. But on stream, we got CS, a player that we did not see in that first crew battle against Rutgers A. Someone that should arguably be in Rutgers B. Probably one of the best. I think number 8 in the Rutgers PR as well. So for him to not be on the team, it's kind of crazy, but his growth as a player has been very insane. And let's see what he has to offer against Miku Beam, who once again starts for Montclair White.
Once again starts for Montclair White. However, we haven't seen stuff quite yet from CS today. It's going to be interesting to see how he measures up to Miku Beam's Joker. And starting off with some quick damage, putting Miku Beam in disadvantage right now, keeping him on his toes. Miku Beam fighting back and still getting hit so much damage. Already got Arsene online, however, trying to make it up.
Yeah, and CS is a guy that isn't necessarily well-versed in a crew battle kind of environment, so this is definitely a new kind of thing for him. He's done it before at a summit, but that was against friends, so this is definitely a much more different kind of thing. Trying to go right there, Miku Beam, trying to go for a weak hit off of that gun to potentially cheese a stock off of CS, who gets this grab off the down throw. Gonna send Miku Beam in a weird angle, doesn't get the lingering nair to get that kill, and a dash attack to send CS once again off stage. But so far, action-packed between both these guys.
So much damage from both players. I think you had said that this was CS's first official crew battle that he's participating in. He's holding his own pretty well. I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah, Miku Beam able to absorb some of the damage from the cannonball, but unable to absorb that up air. Gonna lose a stock for that. And once again, CS knocking off that Arsene, gonna be a super important advantage that CS has with not only the stock, but not having Arsene on the board and even on screen right now is going to be really good for CS to come back.
Going to be really good for him to come back, but also you can see Miku Beam making up this damage, putting CS in disadvantage right now, trying to make back as much as he can. However, going to get hit with that Koopa and then putting himself back into the corner, fighting with the back air though.
Yeah, something that I'm seeing Miku Beam struggle a little bit, which is kind of crazy to say against a character like Bowser Jr. is his edge guarding has not been as good as I think I would hope it'd be. And CS able to reverse the situation as well, going high, getting the Mecha Koopa to hit, double backer as well, tacking on a lot of damage, 76%, while he's almost at 200% is crazy. Trying to go for the air dodge into the hammer, not going to be able to cheese the stock off of Miku Beam just yet.
Oh, that down tilt was dirty, sending him right back off stage and right where he wants to be at 201%, but we're cooling, we're chilling right now. Just sending Miku Beam exactly where he wants it. Finally getting the first stock on the board, however, has a substantial over 100% already. So it's going to take a while for Miku Beam to build up this damage yet again, and CS going to send him right back into disadvantage.
Yeah, the issue with CS's ability or attempts to try and edge guard is that he's too much in the middle range. He's never going too high or too low, where Miku Beam is most likely going to try and recover at. So I think if CS, once he starts going for these abandoned ships to edge guard, I think that's when we start seeing stock be taken early. But we could have also seen one taken early from Miku Beam right there, trying to go for these back airs off stage, but gets hit with that down tilt and is going to lose that second stock. CS still with a good lead, but not out yet is Miku Beam.
Not out quite yet, however. Miku Beam going to eat a lot of damage right here, trying to get up to Arsene. However, it's a risky situation to be in, especially when you are down a stock versus a character such as Bowser Jr., who, as we saw earlier, can easily live up to 200%. no sweat. And right now, as the two are duking it
Oh,
out.
okay.
Okay, that was a very bad situation to be in, especially because CS could have taken that stock so quickly from Miku Miku Beam. However, we both lived, both of them continuing with the game.
The tether, wait, but you're dead anyway. No, Miku Beam not grabbing the ledge because he hit CS. And while CS got away with that,
That was really, really close for CS because that was a really, really bad missed tech, but it all works out for Rutgers B.
Horrible mistech, but also like unfortunate to see that Miku Miku Beam didn't have a jump there, so he wasn't able to save himself.
Right.
So that he would. So unfortunately, he was the one who got to the end zone first.
Yeah.
Oh, you hate to go out that way.
It sucks, especially when you know that you have the opportunity to be able to take another stock. But yeah, just blocking that was insane because Miku Miku Beam was so low. Guaranteed that the tether was going to reach that ledge, but being able to body block, definitely a lucky break for CS.
A lucky break, and also adds to the stock counter right now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be awesome to see who is coming up next. Oh, and
Gonna
we've
be
got
Catway.
Catway.
Yeah, so is
Wow.
Ken gonna come in. Now, CS has had a problem against Sinister before. Like, they played in a crew battle against Brookdale Community College. We're actually gonna see the Shulk instead of the Ken. Now, how do you feel about this change of character, Pearl? Because Shulk, we haven't seen Catway Shulk yet, so we can't really determine it yet. But how do you feel about this character pick, just in general?
So this character pick in general, Shulk, I think, is a very good matchup check character, as is Ludwig, for instance. But Shulk, however, the good thing about him for the opponent is that when he changes his Monados, you can tell that that's what he wants to do, essentially, so you can have a better read for him. But in a matchup like this, I think Shulk definitely has an advantage because he has the big sword versus CS will have to get up close. He has the armored cart, however, he has to eat a lot of damage to just get close. And that down smash, almost taking the stock at a measly 100%.
Are you dead? Okay,
No,
getting
no.
the shield out just in time. I was about to be like, if he was on Smash, it's going to be really tough. But the fact that Monado is going to play such a pivotal role in determining the pace of this game, Catway just needs to abuse potentially speed, right? The speed and air, fair, all these combos that you have with that. I mean, Buster did so much damage, 121 for that matter. So CS making his way back ever so slowly, but surely can he take the stock?
All right, now, I'm not going to say I was ever a Catway doubter. However, this Shulk is kind of reinvigorating. I think this is exactly what he needed. It would have been, this is a way better pick, I think, than Ken, especially in a matchup like this where Ken can only attack pretty close to the character.
Yeah.
But you can see the wonderful spacing here right now from Catway and from CS. CS putting him right here in disadvantage.
Oh, the
But
back air
what
gonna
a-
connect.
What a precise back air there.
Yeah, able to use that jump to kind of just put himself above CS while he was trying to come back.
Shield's gonna come out, even though it's slowing down Catway, hasn't slowed down this damage that he's been able to dish out. Gets the rest of the up B, the air slash, but the forward air gonna knock out that first stock off of Catway. So at least a guaranteed stock right here that CS has given Rutgers B.
That CS has given Rutgers, but also that Catway here trying to make up some of that damage. However, he has an extra stock right now, but he is not going to sit comfortably here. He is going to do as much as he possibly can in his power right now to secure yet another win.
Yeah. And now a player that hasn't pulled up to this tournament, Tough Ludwig, a very, very strong player for Montclair. So I'm assuming that Catway's going Shulk because he has experience against a character like Bowser Jr., especially as good as Tough Ludwig.
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, CS playing a character like Ludwig is a very good matchup checked character. However, if you have experience with a good Bowser Jr. like Tough Ludwig, ooh,
Oh, wait, what happened there? Did you just not have a jump? I mean, he hit the ledge when he was going down, so I just assumed he had a jump, but I don't think he expected that angle and the speed that he was going down.
No, I was about to say something like that. I think it was the angle as well as a combination of the percentage of damage that he took from that. So I think that, ooh. All right, that could have been very scary right there for Catway as he was sent to the corner. Prime position for CS to have followed up. However, we're both living currently, but Catway going to rely on his 9
No,
lives.
the shield! Shield able to get Catway out of there. If it weren't for that shield, definitely surely dead. And the hammer, the up air, gonna take that stock, and CS
while he was even a stock down against Catway, was still able to take down another player off of Montclair White. So a very strong start and a very strong showing from CS so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think that the Shulk was still a wonderful pick for that specific situation. However, still going to have a lead right now. For
He air dodged.
Rutgers. Yeah.
That's what happened. He air dodged.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he wanted to go for a tech, he just missed it. I think that's, and then it just buffered, which is unfortunate. You hate to see the buffer system of this game take it away from you. But yeah, no. I mean, next player is going to be Chief Beef. Could be Lucas. I don't remember if he has a Steve or if I'm mistaken him for another player. Well, let's be safe and just say it's going to be a Lucas.
All right, so looks like we are going back for the Bowser Jr. pick. However, how do you think that a character like Lucas does in this matchup?
I mean, my experience of watching Smash Bros. Versus someone like Mr. Muggs, I hear that it's pretty difficult for a character like Bowser Jr. to try and get in because of how good PK Thunder is, but also forward air is a very strong move that breaks the armor of that clown cart, that side B that Bowser Jr. has. So a few options that CS has to watch out for, not to mention the snake train to come out as well. So, I mean, CS has to play very safe in the mid-range, but also find a way to get in. If Chief Beef is not ready for these absolutely volatile side Bs from CS, I think it could be over. And a huge combo coming out from CS as he just gets his nice little ladder combo, 81% dealt.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the Zair combos are going to be the thing that we need to watch out for. And then the ladder combos, especially versus a floaty character such as Lucas. It can be so difficult to get out of those versus a heavy character with the kill potential of Bowser Jr. And as you can see, going for the aggressive option right there off stage versus Chief Beef. Chief Beef, however, making it back, sending CS into the PK fire. However, Chief Beef being able to continue thanks to the armor of the clown cart.
Yeah, and you can see, like I mentioned before, those forward airs, side Bs, PK fires, even up air for that matter, will be able to break that armor. So Chief Beef going for these moves not only to outrange, but also try and bait out an approach from CS, who currently hasn't been wavering. He's kind of just been playing a very, very nice neutral, just jumping up and down, and only using side B when he's trying to recover there. Trying to read maybe an air dodge Chief Beef with the PK Fire, but to no avail. Resets neutral once again, and both these guys are just slinging out every single projectile that they can against each other.
Man.
Gets that forward air. CS taking another stock.
Oh, they are scrapping right now, Jellyfish. It is wonderful to see, though, however, especially because you see that Chief Beef is able to stale out a lot of these moves from CS in order to get as much as he possibly can. However, going to lose that interaction. Ooh, and getting out of place just in time.
Yeah, I was very scared of a spin out there on that ledge, which is, whoa, the up smash. Able to avoid that CS somehow with the big body character of Bowser Jr. trying to go for an abandoned ship hammer, but gets that landing neutral air instead. A very good landing tool that Bowser Jr. has. The Mecha Koopa coming out and exploding just in time. Gets another forward air. I don't think you have a jump. Isn't able to get much off of that, but the up throw should be able to solidify that stock, and it does as Chief Beef sacrificing a stock to take one.
Sacrificing a stock to take one, but I think that was a very wise decision right there from Chief Beef, able to put some damage on the board right now for the Montclair White team versus Rutgers B.
Yeah, finally knocking out CS, and a very strong 7 stocks taken in total by him. The next player looking like it's gonna be Yin Yang, and that's Incineroar going into Lucas, which is an interesting counter pick, but I think he's trying to bank on revenge being a very, very strong tool to be able to counter a lot of Lucas's moves to approach, but also you're gonna overcommit with a side B or even a PK Thunder for that matter. So I think Yin Yang is looking for that.
Yeah, I think this is not necessarily a counter pick that I would personally go for. However, I do think that if you can get the good read, I would say go for it, especially with a character like Incineroar who has the damage potential, who doesn't have to rely on combos nearly as much as a character such as Lucas.
Yeah, and yeah, like you mentioned, both these players do have their kill power. I think Instant has a little bit more, so you can get away with going for like a normal neutral air, a forward air. These straight hits up close just to send Chief Beef off stage. The only issue now is that Yin Yang as Incineroar doesn't have a lot of options to edge guard with, besides maybe Revenge, maybe Nair. But I feel like Revenge, you just get so far away with that PK Thunder.
Yeah, I think that's the unfortunate thing with that, especially with both of these characters, I would say having pretty exploitable recoveries. However, Incineroar in general, I think, has a much more exploitable recovery. If he were hit with a PK freeze, for instance, while trying to recover, it would be pretty bad for Yin Young.
Yeah, PK Free is definitely a move that we haven't seen Chief Beef gone for in both the crew battles that we've watched him. So maybe this is where we see a change of pace, potentially. Yin Young forgetting that Chief Beef needed to lose a stock right there, and everyone making sure that he remembers it. But onto Small Battlefield, a good stage for both of these, don't you agree?
A good stage for both of these. I think it gives both of them time and the space in order to set up not only their combos, but also their side Bs if you're Incineroar.
Yeah, definitely. Alone Whip, such a strong move. I believe it has some armor as well, so Chief Beef got to be a little bit more careful when you're trying to get in up close against a character like Incineroar, who is willing to box you and also has some really crazy grabs. The Alone Whip coming out, not getting the hit that he wanted to. Down tilt, a very quick move that I haven't seen Chief Beef gone for as well, but combos into jab, combos into a lot of different options as well.
Combos into a lot of different options. However, that Alolan Whip going to send a character such as Lucas way into disadvantage, and especially off stage where Yin Young could possibly follow up with with some heavy damage or even a punish of his own. However, you can see
no tech.
Chief Beef, oh man, Chief Beef putting him in his own disadvantage.
Yeah, finally getting this forward air off as well. Chief Beef trying to go, whoa, the footstool! Can you make it back? Yes, you can, but the down tilt, the Cheeto fingers, gonna knock off that second stock from Chief Beef.
Oh, that footstool was criminal, man.
He definitely didn't need it, but it worked out in the end. All right, now they're both just scrapping. This is kind of like what I'm concerned about for Chief Beef, getting a lot of damage off of the tail of that PK Thunder. Yin Young still off stage, but 60% is cheap change if you're Incineroar.
Okay, so we see some good neutral. However, you've got... Oh, okay. Yin Young changing the situation so quickly. I like that he's able to find these openings, especially being patient, waiting out the endings of Chief Beef's moves. So it's wonderful to see these two playing around each other so well.
Yeah, he's so consistent with these roll reads on ledge as well. Really good grab right there from Chief Beef just to send Yin Young off stage. The PK freeze you were talking about earlier going to be a really good tool to punish this linear recovery that Incineroar has. They're going to miss. Both these guys missing everything. We are playing SpaghettiOs right now.
All right, this is Smashy Bros at its peak.
Oh, you're so slow as Incineroar. I forgot. He tried to run up and he couldn't get anything off of it. Going for this down air. Chief Beef gets hit with the running knee.
It didn't even matter. He was still able to find the opening and get that stock. Absolutely killer stuff right there from Yin Young.
Yeah, getting the dash attack to maybe catch that landing from Chief Beef wasn't crazy. Like I said, this character is probably one of the slowest, if not the slowest in this game. So the fact that he was just ready for that, gets that dash attack, a really good burst option for Incineroar to take that stock as well. He was at high percent, don't get me wrong. So there was a high chance he was going to lose his stock should he have misread or misplaced that dash attack. So Yin Young, very confident with his gameplay, confident that he can continue this really, really hot streak for Rutgers B.
This really, really hot streak, I think especially in a last hit situation like that, you want to start going for the more riskier options. You want to find something. You want to make an opening wherever you can, especially if that means being able to say, okay, I have the read. I know exactly what I'm going to do in order to close this out.
Yeah. I think Miku Beam is going to come in again for Montclair White.
I wonder if we're going to see a different character now for Miku Beam.
Yeah. I think Yin Young might be just picking stages right there. I think he just did bans. We're going to Smashville. So it might just be the Joker again. This fit for Miku Beam is actually crazy, by the way. I love it so much. The Miku shirt and the Kirby and all that stuff. Lovely to see. And then, of course, the beautiful red of our jersey. No bias, no bias. Okay, we are going to stick with the Joker potential, but change your tag. Can't forget that. Right. But they did have Ardot as well in their back Pocket as another player that they could have sent in. So I'm kind of surprised they brought Miku Beam back in here. It could just be confidence in the matchup, but I hope that Miku Beam can, make up for his first game that he had against CS.
Yeah, I think possibly it could go better now that Miku Beam is hopefully a bit more warmed up, is a little primed now for the punch, able to get some more damage and being a little more thoughtful, I think, now, and especially a matchup versus a character like Yin Yang, who is able to find these openings and is so patient yet amazing with his reads today.
Yeah, and only more to come. Like, that's kind of what you have to do as Incineroar. You give up a lot of speed and, well, survivability for the fact that you have to go for these reads, and it kind of just sets up for general fundamentals. And right now, let's see if Yin Yang can apply any of that into this game against Miku Beam. Really good drop-off nair right there to punish that recovery, gets the run back, gets the F-tilt, and another stock taken for Yin Yang, who's going on a tear with Incineroar of all characters.
Yeah, I mean, I guess from what you had said earlier today, I wasn't quite expecting to see the Incineroar pick. However, this Incineroar is cooking. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I've watched this guy's improvement since he started off, so it's very, very nice. Miku Beam trying to mix up on Yin Yang, going for that fair one, just going to come back on the stage with the downwards angled gun, which is a really good tool to edge guard. Good back air just to send Yin Yang off stage, trying to go for a jump read, but an amazing uppy to come back, goes up high again, but not going to get the read, not going to get the F-tilt this time. Goes for a crazy counter and going to die to the Alola Whip. Yin Yang on a roll with some rage on his name as well.
With some rage on his name. And if you saw earlier, back when Yin Yang recovered at the left side of the stage, you saw that Miku Beam went for a counter there and mistimed it. I think possibly we might see it yet again because that's been 2 times it's missed so far.
Yeah. All right. If you're Miku Beam, you have to take the stock as soon as possible. That back air not going to do anything. You got to go for some edge guards. I like the idea with the down tilt, but at this percentage, you got to be going for some crazy stuff like some gimps.
Going for some crazy stuff, I think, especially when you don't want to be against a character like Incineroar when he has rage of this nature. Going for the up throw, not going to take it quite yet. However, going for that follow through with the Arsene, going to take that stock for Miku Beam.
Yeah. Now, personally, if I'm Yin Yang and I see Arsene, I'm just going to try and wait this out. I'm a character as Incineroar that's not really too quick, and I need to force my opponent to approach me, which has been doing. Like, that's exactly what Yin Yang is doing, but Miku Beam, he's been struggling to scrap, which is weird to say as Joker.
Yeah, it's weird to say. However, I think, there's yet another Alolan Whip doing the heavy lifting right here for Yin Yang.
Yeah. 4 arms of God that character has. But yeah, no, Miku Beam was really struggling in these close range combat or close quarters combat situations against Yin Yang, even though I feel like he has the superior frame data and frame advantage against a character like Incineroar.
I agree. However, I think I would like to add to that Joker as a character, I think, needs time to set up his camping, especially camping with gun. Camping in order to build up some damage while also finding his spacing.
Yeah.
And you saw in that matchup, Yin Yang didn't let him do that at all. Yin Yang was very aggressive, very oppressive in his playstyle, so I don't think that he gave Miku Beam a chance to set up.
Yeah. So Aura Master going to be the last player coming in. Do we see the DK or the Lucario here? I think it's just going to be DK. That just makes the most sense in the crew battle kind of scenario that we're in right now.
All right, but we're going to get a nice heavy matchup right now. All right, yep, going for the purple DK.
Now, part of me is like, dude, I hope Yin Yang wins this because I've been playing my DK against him so much, and I hope that I prepared him for it. But we're on Battlefield, a stage that benefits both of these characters. It allows for Incineroar to shark very easily. Same thing with Donkey Kong, but also you give him a wrong tag, wrong stage.
No contest.
Interesting.
Okay.
But back to my point. Yeah, like going on Battlefield really helps out Incineroar because, like I mentioned before, his mobility on the ground isn't the best. So when you give him another platform to be able to move around and extend his combos on, this is really good for Yin Yang, and I think this is exactly what he's looking for against a character like Donkey Kong, who can do the same thing.
Yes, of course. I think this is a good stage for both of... Yeah, so I think it was just they needed to do the stops.
Right. Forgot.
All right.
Alrighty, now they're going to count us off. Here we go.
could we potentially see another 9-0 against Montclair White? Who knows? Yin Yang down to his last stock. A little bit of damage just keeps Aura Master in the middle, missing the input of the Alolan Whip in its entirety. Darkest Lariat, such a strong move that a lot of people don't respect or don't expect to respect. You're going to get hit with the Alolan Whip. Not dead just yet, but a really solid nair. Could be the ender. Well, that also does it, I guess.
All right, okay.
Interesting. I think he was expecting the up B of Donkey Kong to do enough knockback to stage spike him, so he was going for a tech. But I feel like you just go for an up B anyway. I don't know. It's a tough scenario, especially when you're Yin Yang.
I think Yin Yang was trying to look into the future and maybe looked a little too far in that sense. He was prepared, but just not in the way that he needed to be for that situation.
And I don't think a down air was the right option either. You know that Aura Master as Donkey Kong is going to go far for these recoveries. You don't really want to go straight up as Donkey Kong. You want to use your diagonal recovery. So I think maybe a forward air was probably the better option, but Yin Yang going to be out. I believe he took 6 stocks as well. And a Billion Lions, Steve, going to try and close this off for Rutgers B.
Now, a Billion Lions, as we saw in our showcase earlier, one of the heavy hitters from Rutgers B. I think especially he was able to take 6 stocks in a row, right?
In total, yes.
In total, yeah, 6 stocks, which is absolutely crazy. He was especially strong with those down smashes as well, so it's going to be interesting to see that in this matchup versus Donkey Kong's. So I think Donkey Kong's kill potential, though, versus a character like Steve, who admittedly has pretty terrible frame data when he's not mining or when he doesn't have resources.
Yeah.
If Aura Master can get in, I think he will have the advantage.
Yeah, using the hand slap to kind of just phase through these blocks is a good option. Not only that, you have F tilt, you have down tilt to be able to break the bottom block and then just approach. The one thing that I'm seeing from Billion Lions, he doesn't know NIL combos. He only goes for these up airs, and then that's it. Which is kind of insane, because as Steve, I feel like you need to know NILs. Finally gets it there, but you got to be a little bit more consistent, especially playing a character like Steve, and you want to abuse all of his advantages.
You want to abuse all of your advantages. Steve as a character is so tech heavy that you need to be able to utilize those whenever you can, especially in disadvantage versus a character like Donkey Kong, who is going to go for the cargo or for the follow up with that, however, not going to get it and is going to find himself locked in jail.
Yeah, getting a little bit more materials. These back airs and the giant punch, the raw giant punch coming out from Aura Master. Definitely catching a Billion Lions a bit off guard right there and placing these blocks so perfectly spaced to where Aura Master couldn't be able to get these hand slaps through those blocks. Trying to go for these up smashes. That somehow hit. Aura Master going for an outlandish forward air.
So that looked like Aura Master tried to avoid the magma block and instead got hit by that forward air,
right.
Which is what took the stock.
Yeah. Going on the other side of this wall right now, Billion Lions is still doing a little bit of damage with these up tilts. Good landing back air from Aura Master, who gets immediately punished by that dash attack. Back air going to play such a crucial role in Aura Master's ability to approach, but also do damage. And the raw up B on stage, going to take that second stock from a Billion Lions.
Absolutely raw. The way you see that Aura Master is eating a lot of damage. However, the way that he is able to take such efficient stocks is wonderful against a character like Steve, especially with the way that a Billion Lions is playing, trying to edge guard, but still able to make it back through, muscling through the blocks like that.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. You don't have a lot of iron and you're dead. You didn't have a jump. You wasted it in that moment. And Aura Master clawing his way back from Montclair White, and it's going to be Sunbun that goes into Aura Master. And Sunbun really likes the DK matchup. It's Falco too, which makes sense. I mean, Falco's a very, very combo-heavy character, and DK is a character that can be comboed very heavily. So this will be a fun match from both of these guys.
From both of these guys, I think especially because Sunbun, as we saw, is one of our hidden bosses here today.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a cool matchup to watch. Very different things, I think, that we saw from him earlier today. So it's going to be interesting to see how he adapts that to a character such as Donkey Kong.
Right. All right, we're going to PS2, a very, very large stage, very beneficial for Falco, but Ding Dong is very much on the board right here for Aura Master if he's consistent enough to hit those. Sunbun. You're welcome. But yeah, no, Falco, Donkey Kong, same color too.
Yeah, I was about to say I like seeing the two purple characters together.
it's like one of those things where it's like the alts that I choose are coincidentally the same color. It's green for some reason, but let's see if Sunbun can give Rutgers B a little bit of green right here and get this stock, get this win against Montclair White in a very strong combo, going for that lingering nair to potentially just gimp Sunbun and put him under the stage to pineapple him. But both these guys scrapping very early on.
Very early on, as you can see, a character such as Donkey Kong able to make up so much damage from just a few interactions. So much so that he is able to have... Oh, my goodness.
My
Wow,
God. Crazy
What a
stuff.
kill.
Crazy stuff from Aura Master right now. I believe that is 5 stocks taken in total. Yes, it is. Sunbun going to be the unfortunate recipient of one of the 4 spikes that Donkey Kong has.
One of the 4 spikes, especially on such a character such as this. Character like Falco having the upwards mobility, as I mentioned earlier, and able to take a stock just like that with his up air.
Yeah, dash attack is such a weird move for Donkey Kong. It's a really nice burst option. It allows you to get in, but when it's blocked, you're going for a crazy Firebird out of nowhere. All right, able to come back on the stage, but very, very risky stuff from Sunbun. I don't think you want to do that, especially in the moments where Aura Master is showing glimpses of a crazy comeback.
Yeah, I mean, quite a risky move to go for. I mean, I appreciate when I see someone who has, like, the cojones to go for something like that. Who has, you know, who has the, like, you know what, I think I have the read, I think I got it, and then doesn't get it, but, you know, didn't die for it, surprisingly.
How do you come back? You get
Wow.
pineapple, then you get
there
spiked!
it is.
Sunbun could be losing it. All 3 stocks right now against Aura Master if he's not able to close the bat. 158. Definitely a forward air. Anything will kill here for Sunbun, but a really good get-up attack for Aura Master to come back. Trying to outrange with these tilts. You kind of have to play this mid-range.
Wow.
Tries to go in with the
Yeah.
grab and going to die there, but an amazing comeback almost mounted on from Montclair White, as Rutgers B only wins by 4 when they were up like 6 stocks at one point.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool to see the way that Aura Master was going to demonstrate all of the different spikes of DK, various spikes. Sunbun, however, utilizing his, going for those risky options, though, especially when your opponent doesn't expect it, and still not getting punished for that, despite missing. Wonderful stuff, absolutely, from Sunbun. I'm anticipating to see what he does for this next game.
Yeah, so that's going to be 0-2 right now for Montclair White, but Rutgers B with a currently perfect 2-0 record. They're going to have to go up against Montclair Red eventually, and that's going to be a very tough task for them to be able to beat not only Diamond, not only Ardot, but you also have Kayla Farah ready on that team as well.